Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome along to another little garage chat. Today I've got a little bit of maintenance I want to get done. I've been meaning to do this for a few days now, and I think I ought to be getting on with it. As you can see, I've got a brand new battery here ready to go on, and I thought I'd just show you the process of getting this thing set up on the bike. Okay, so my battery is located actually underneath the seat, and I've taken the bolts out so that I can lift the seat up and show you. So let's just get this out of the way. Pop this down here. There we go. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it is just underneath this casing here, which I'm going to lift out now. And I've also got a connector here, which is for the charger, which will obviously need to come off as well. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to nip these two cable ties so that I can slacken off the charger connector. That's one. And that's the other. Right. So the connector now for the battery charger is completely loose. And once I take the cover off the battery, I can disconnect that as well. I'll tuck that in out of the way there. Right, the next thing to do is undo this screw here. And I can lift the cover off the battery now. There we go. Put this to one side. So there we have it. That's the battery in there. I've now got to disconnect all of this so that I can lift that out and pop the new one in. You should bear in mind that on other bikes the battery is going to be located somewhere else. It could be under the seat, could be behind a side panel, as in the case of my son's Suzuki Bergman 400. It's actually located inside one of the glove boxes, and it is the most fiddliest job to try and get out. Trust me, it took an age. Right, next job, disconnect the battery. Now when it comes to disconnecting a battery, I always take the red terminal off first, as that's the one that gives all the power. That's clear. Okay, so those are all the terminals disconnected. That's the battery charger disconnected. Put that to one side. And now I've just got to lift out the battery, which is never an easy task. Never wants to come out in one easy movement. Right, with the aid of a pair of pliers, I've got it out. Okay, so here we go. There's a new battery. It has covers on the terminals, which you'll just need to pop off. There's one. There's the other. Positive, negative. Never get them mixed up. So right, using the pliers just to drop it back in again. But of course first, don't forget, you need to put the nuts and bolts in. There's nothing worse than loading it into place or fiddling it into place and then suddenly remembering, oh, you forgot to put the bolts in. Then you've got to get the thing out again and do it all again. So it comes complete with 2 nuts, 2 bolts, as you can see there, and they slide into the battery terminals. I'll show you, one goes in there like that, and the other nut goes into that terminal like that. And then we can just jiggle it back into place. Get everything out of the way, and in it goes. And of course one of the little bolts has just fallen out. A handy thing to always have in a garage is a magnet. Well, YouTube, what a job that turned out to be. I managed to get the battery out, but it was quite a job. I disconnected it and I could not lift it out just easily. I ended up having to use a pair of pliers on one of the terminals to get a good grip on it so that I could pull the thing out. Anyway, I got it on the bench and got the new battery set up and ready to go in. This is the old one here, but there was a problem connecting all the terminals back together again. As you can see on this particular battery, I've taken a photograph, but on each terminal there's a little plastic guide underneath the nut to hold it in position so that you can screw into it easily. Whereas on the new battery, that plastic guide doesn't exist. So no matter how I tried, I couldn't get the screw to go into the nut. In the end, what I did was I put a little bit of electrical tape underneath the nut to bolster it up so that it would fit in the gap without moving, and that way I could get the screw to connect with it, and then as I tightened it up I was able to pull the electrical tape out. It was a real palaver to do. Bear that in mind if you're doing that yourself, because it isn't something they tell you about, not in any of the booklets that I've seen anyway. Usually it's the book suggests, oh, just lift the battery out, put the new battery in. Well, it's not that straightforward, as I discovered. I'm going to dispose of this battery safely by taking it down to the local council tip where they have a specific place for batteries, and I would suggest that if you're getting rid of a battery, that is something you should do. It's not just something you can throw in a bin. Other than that, that's about it for this particular episode. I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle, and bear that in mind, that you will struggle if you're doing this yourself. There's no easy way of doing this kind of a job, and you should always bear in mind that anything that suggests it might be dead straightforward will in fact take you at least twice as long, and you may end up scraping the odd knuckle here and there. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, look after yourselves, look after the people around you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.